If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Okay, so let me give you my introduction. So I carry 10 plus year of experience in overall, and from last 7 years, I am part of Workday ecosystem. So I started my career as a associate analyst, and currently I am working as a like techno-functional lead, where I take care of technical as well as functional. In terms of my certification, when I say certification, so I'm a certified consultant by Workday. So HCM, core compensation, advanced compensation, reporting, performance. So these are the certifications which I carry. But apart from this, I also take care of studio, EIBs. I hope guys, you all are aware of Workday's terminology. Everyone knows Workday terminology, right?
Yes, Manthan.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So currently I'm working as a techno-functional lead for MNC, one of the United States organization from India. And I am working for a partner company where I take care of implementation and support project. Currently I'm working on implementation project. So let me share this session where we talk about, and I think I had one session, it was only a brief, but this session we are going to talk about in detail how to optimize LinkedIn profile, how to create resume, what kind of job we should be targeting, what are the different types of job are there in the organization. If I'm getting a fresher, if I'm working as a fresher, then what should the approach, what knowledge I should be carrying when I go for Workday opportunities. Okay. So this is the content, and we will not follow the chapter-wise session. Okay. So the first chapter which we are going to talk about is Workday resume creation and interview preparation. So here we'll talk about the introduction, where we will just have an introduction, that because Workday resume, or maybe normal, your profile is the primary thing which is get shared with the recruiter or with the organization. So based on your resume, your resume gets shortlisted, and then you go ahead and go for an interview. So if I talk about my first thing which I have to focus is my resume. So we'll talk about what all things we have in terms of resume. So we'll talk on resume creation and interview preparation. Again, we have a in detail session. We'll talk about that. Then second question here, second chapter which we are going to talk about is cheat sheet for resume and interview class. So since we are preparing a resume, we need to make sure that what all component we should be putting. It should not be like, if I carry 10, 15 years of, maybe 15 years of experience, then I should have all 5 pages, 6 pages talking about my profile. We will also cover that point. It should be short and sweet, where if I'm looking into your resume, I should get to know about the entire journey, what you have started, what is your qualification. So we will focus on the segments of resume here in cheat sheet for resume and interview class. Then very important factor, before resume, I will put LinkedIn profile on top of it. So I hope every one of you has LinkedIn profile. Everyone?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I will prefer LinkedIn profile over resume. I'll talk about that, why LinkedIn profile I'm saying, why I'm putting resume on the second page. Okay. So we are going to talk about how we can optimize our LinkedIn profile and how to get a job from LinkedIn, or what content we should be pasting, or what content material we should be updating onto our profile, so that it becomes very lucrative for recruiters. So we'll cover that part as well. Yes, again, and what I have seen in this, since there were other candidates also who have completed the training, what I see that the kind of jobs they are targeting is not matching with the requirement. So if I say I need, let's say for an example, I need Workday compensation consultant. Okay. but your resume doesn't talk about compensation, then there is no point shortlisting of that resume. No one is going to shortlist. So at times we need to tweak our resume depending upon the job requirement. So we cannot have, basically we should have one resume for all the jobs, but since we don't carry any experience of Workday, then we are open for all. If I say, are you guys open for staffing activity? You will say, yes, I know in HCM, I know. If I say, if you guys are open for working as security, you'll say, yes, I'm open for it. So for you guys, the market is open. You can either work as a compensation consultant, you can either work as a business process consultant or security or maybe staffing. So currently you guys are open for all the kinds of Workday opportunity. Okay. So when you guys are open for all the kinds of opportunity, your resume should have that, and you should be applying to a job which talks about all these kind of opportunity where you say that, okay, let me get the job. So if I carry 10 years of experience and I am applying for a project manager or maybe a project architecture, so it is very obvious that the currently, since I don't carry that much experience where I can work as in Workday architecture, so even though I am applying, I am simply wasting my time. I am investing time, I am giving my interest, and then finally what is happening? My resume is not getting shortlisted. So identifying what role and responsibility that job is asking for, and am I best fit for that jobs and responsibility. So when you apply for any job, you see they talk about job and responsibility. Okay, then it comes Workday career path. Okay, this is very interesting chapter. I don't know when I say that, okay, currently I am working as an analyst. Let's say for an example, I am a fresher guy and I am working as an analyst. So 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, where do I stand? What is my career path? Because when every time you won't be configuring application, right? Every time if you ask me, seriously guys, I am not configuring anything in the system. Okay. I started career as Workday associate where I used to create organization, then move worker, create compensation. I used to do every damn thing which is there in the Workday. But currently, if you ask me for my current project, I am not at all touching Workday. Then you'll say then how you are a Workday consultant? Because when you carry some experience, then Workday is not your only bread and butter. Since you carry experience, then you have to take the ownership. So there are associate analysts who are reporting to me, and I am segregating my task to them. That doesn't mean that I don't know Workday. I know, and that is the reason I am segregating. So here in my current job, what I am doing, I am guiding them. I am not creating anything, but since I know Workday, if any challenges come, because in Workday, what happens, since it is a box product, but the customer who is implementing is unique. Okay. So I used to take this example in my training also, that Samsung and Amazon, they both are using Workday. But what is different? Their process is different, right? Their role is different. So we need to understand that if I am working as an associate, or what I see from your profile guys, that you all are experienced. So when I say, okay, now get started with the associate's job, obviously that is not going to suit your profile, because you don't want it to start from beginner, because you carry some experience. All of you are experienced profile. Then where do you stand? How you can use your experience to your job? We need to see that. We'll talk about that since it is a customized. So we'll sit with individual, we'll talk about their challenges, but in detail. I'm just giving you the update that what all things we need to focus when I talk about Workday Job Readiness Program. So yes, career path is very important. If I don't know that where I stand after 5 years, then there is no point learning that application. So I need to have that information before I go ahead and start my career. Then yes, there are different, as I said, in my current project, I am not responsible for doing any configuration. I am responsible for managing a team. So my role is different. Prior to that, I was part of configuration. I used to do a configuration. I used to take a call for a customer, and then I need to do the configuration single-handedly. My previous project, I was only one person who was handling a advanced compensation for it. So what happens? Though I carry in both the scenarios, I carry 10 years, but my role is changing. In first, I was part of configuration. I was responsible for doing configuration. But in my current project, though I am responsible, but not that I have to do. I have to make sure that the juniors are doing that activity. So roles and responsibility is very important. Now, how roles and responsibility your profile can fit in? Since you don't carry Workday experience, but you carry HR experience, you know how HR world is working. So when I go, let's suppose I am a customer, you guys can help us that, okay, in HR terminology, if I wanted to talk about, okay, now since I have already checked this with Shubha, so I want, can any one of you, so when I say anyone means Vaishnavi or Rashmita, if I talk about how a job is being created, how an employee gets hired into an Workday, or a life cycle of a candidate. Means I am a candidate, then I'll become an employee, and then I'll be get ex-employee. So can you both or any one of you can tell me that what is the life cycle? How a candidate can become an employee and can compensation and all those things. So I wanted a life cycle of a candidate from candidate to ex-employee. Anyone can go ahead. Since this is not an interview, guys, don't feel shy. Go ahead.
Yeah, Rashmi here. So first, the position will be created in the company, which will be done from I think the hiring manager. I mean, they will create a position mentioning that they need that whatever designation. I mean, project manager or any designation. So they have to create a position in their system. Correct. And then that has to get approved from some level of managers or whatever it is required. And then, correct. Yeah, and then it will be created in the maybe the Workday or whatever the system the companies follow.
Yeah, don't talk about Workday. Here, I just wanted to know about the life cycle of a candidate becoming an employee and then becoming an ex-employee. So
yeah, I mean, I was trying to say the position has to be created first.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then it comes to the recruiter who will be I think sourcing for the candidate.
Correct. Yes,
okay.
Sourcing for candidate.
Yes, and then as per the position, they will be sourcing the candidates, and they will collecting the resumes, and then they will be selecting as per the matching requirement. I mean, whatever the requirement is, and who is the best fit for that particular position. And then after the candidate is getting selected, then again it goes to through the interview process, the selection, and the offer process, and then the joining, I mean the onboarding. And after that, I think I mean, you are saying till the exit, right?
Here,
so the candidate
till the exit. So here I have become an employee. I am getting the compensation. Now I work for 2 years. What will happen? I'll be promoted, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So promotion means I can change my location. I can get the hike. Then later on, I said that I wanted to leave the organization. So I'll give 3 months of notice, or depending upon my organization regulatory, that I work for 2 months, 3 months, or 1 week. So I do that. And then finally, I get terminated. My profile, which was there in the system, will not exist now. And then I can look out for other opportunity, or I be terminated. I'll become an ex-employee.
Yeah, that will go through the exit process.
Yeah, exit process, and then my life cycle is completed. So,
correct.
Guys, whether I'm using Workday or SAP or Oracle, what is common? This life cycle which you have explained us, is going to be the common. That is the reason I said I don't want what Workday is offering. You just give me the life cycle of a candidate to become an employee and then to an ex-employee. So this remains common. So you guys have this experience. So what you have the upper hand that you understand the functionality. So you know the functional knowledge about HCM. No matter Workday, that is the reason you took training. That is the reason you are going for an Workday job, so that you get an experience. So here the advantage you guys have is the knowledge. You have functional knowledge. So you guys are always a fit for Workday kind of opportunity. Okay. Let's see, and then we'll talk about some Q&A. Okay. So, okay, we were here. So we need to know the project responsibility, what kind of project I'll be getting, and am I going to handle a team, or am I is responsible for doing a configuration. So here we'll talk about, since we have several projects where we have what we did, we have some sample project where looking at the project you get to know about. So I'll give you a scenario, then we'll talk about it. Okay, so right after this I'll give you a scenario, and then you tell me what all information you required. Okay, and that is the primary question for any interview, which is nowadays they talk about I don't know the name. It is scenario based. There is a specific name given to that. Case study. Okay, I'll give you the case study and then you understand. Okay, right after that, chapter 8, we are going to give lot more amount of time for our interview tips and questions. So here I will give all the kind of questions which are being asked during an interview and how to answer them. Since you don't carry Workday experience, so obviously what you have to play with, you have to play with your hands-on experience during training or post training, or whatever project you guys have done during the or project as an activity. So we'll have to play with that and how you used your functional knowledge to do the configuration. Okay, so we will have most amount of our time spent on interview tips and questions. Yes, as I said, here we are going to talk about more on Workday resume. So yes, resume is my primary thing. That is the first thing which a recruiter will see, and based on that, if my profile is shortlisted, I'll be forwarded further. Okay. Then resume write-up. We have a session where we have a resume expert, resume preparation expert. We will have him also to join the session so that he'll primarily focus on resume preparation. And then I would say that social media, rather than using Insta and use Facebook, it is there we should be using LinkedIn. And as I said, I will always prefer LinkedIn profile than the resume. Okay, I will come back to that point. Okay, now guys, I want your experience. Does any one of you apply to Workday job, or you have been ever interviewed, or you get any call, or you are still struggling to get any interview calls? So share your experience.
Manthan, I would like to go first.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
okay. So when you talk about the interviews and okay, I have taken training in last June. I have updated my resume and even my LinkedIn. Maybe here and there might be any issues, but I do completely agree. So I have applied through different portals. For example, Indeed, LinkedIn. So after listening to your first time webinar, I've seen the junior roles, beginner roles of Workday. So after applying to them, it was a system pick, and we were nowhere. We hardly get a chance, and I didn't even receive a call. So that's what my biggest concern here. Yes, I have applied plenty. Wherever
Okay.
I find, like ZipRecruiter, Indeed, LinkedIn, Robert Half, wherever I find the junior roles, I'm okay with the intern roles also. I've just, I was okay in applying, but I didn't
Okay.
receive any call or response. It's a
Okay.
very
No
hard struggle.
problem. We will see, as he said, that if you don't carry Workday experience, but you have the upper hand for your functional knowledge. So you have to
Yes.
now, in your scenario, you have to play around with your HR skills. That, okay, no, I'll tell you tricks and turns. Don't worry on that. The thing which I'm going to talk, if I talk right now, that will be again not going to help you. I'll come to
Okay.
your concern that what kind of resume you should be preparing. Since you are
All
using
right.
an HR, let me disclose my card. So if you're
All right.
using as an HR, you can directly say that my organization where I'm working, they were using HR, they were using Workday application, and I was taking part of end user. I was approving compensation. I was hiring. You would have said that also, which is possible because you were working as HR partner. So HR partner, if not Workday, you would have used some other application. Why not replace other application with Workday in your resume? That okay, but there you are working as end user. Now the possibility of getting a job has increased. Am I making sense?
I get you. So
And
there, you're
correct.
saying that I have to make a little bit changes in my
I'll come to that
HR
point.
work experience. Okay,
Correct,
got you.
correct. I'll come to this point, but I've just showed you that if you would have like done this kind of tweak where you said that okay, I was working as an HR partner, but my organization was using HR or Workday HR. See, if your organization was not using Workday, they would have used Oracle, SAP, or any other application. But
Perfect. Yeah.
here, you just have to replace the other application with Workday. Why I'm saying replace? Because you know Workday HCM, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
as an end user, nobody is expecting you to do configuration. They say that, okay, you have received the training, one checkbox is done. Secondly, you have also used the application. Okay, not for configuration, but as an end user. So now, do you find that possibility is now a bit improved?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Correct. So we will work out this part.
Maybe
Hmm.
yes. Some a
Sorry,
few
go
more
ahead.
keywords you're telling.
Yeah, keywords is the
Oh,
key thing. Okay, we'll come to that point.
all right.
Rashmi,
Yeah.
did you what was your experience? Did you apply to any job, or you didn't even attempt it? You thought that let me go ahead with a job readiness and then I'll do that. Did you encounter anything
Uh,
or? Go ahead. Sorry.
yes, actually for Workday, I mean, I haven't tried. I mean, I haven't applied because I mean, there are some personal reasons also because I relocated from one state to
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
state
Hmm,
after
hmm,
this. After my training was done, I mean, I
hmm,
completed the Workday SCM, right? I told you, and
hmm,
then I had to relocate and everything. And within that time period, actually, it's not like I was not going through the market or I was not searching for the jobs. I was
hmm,
looking, but my first whatever, I mean, my first concern was how do I add that Workday training, or since it was just a training which I have attended and I haven't done any real project or
hmm,
experience.
hmm,
And when I was going through the Workday requirements, whatever is there for the entry levels also,
hmm.
what I understood that it asks for some type of experience.
Correct.
So, yeah. So my first concern was, I mean, I have also mentioned that I have done the training, but
Hmm,
again, how do I mention that Workday training in a way that it gives a strength to my resume that actually I have done this project, or I know I have a knowledge on this thing, or I have done some thing, so that the recruiter understands that, okay, she actually knows the Workday, um, I mean, uh, she understands what, I mean, it's mainly about the experience I'm saying. And
okay.
actually I have applied, I was being applying for the normal HR, I mean, whatever my role was, the
Hmm,
say for example the HR generalist, or the HR assistant, even that type of roles also I was applying. Because I was in a mindset that I will be trying for both of them. Wherever I get at least an entry, that will help me in gaining some experience. So after that, yeah, so I was trying for both. I was not just trying for the Workday, I was looking for HR generalist. For that, I have applied in a lot of places. Even I tweak my resumes the way you said, right? The roles and responsibilities, I tried to change a little bit according to the requirement, but I am also not getting any calls. So that is the reason. I mean, yeah.
So let me reiterate it.
Yes, I'm getting emails that it has not been shortlisted. So that is something which is very disheartening, that where my resume is lacking. I mean, what exactly I need to do my resume.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hey Manthan, sorry, just want to add one more point to Rashmi. Yeah, same concern even I have when you talk about the project. So I think 15 minutes ago you were talking, saying that you have to mention about the hands-on experience on a project you have done during the training, correct?
Correct.
So okay, to that I would like to add, what do you mean by project? See, for example, what all we have done during the training is like, okay, we learned how to create organizations, add employees, then security, everything. Okay, in entry to exit, we have learned well and good. All like, basic knowledge of core HCM, correct?
Okay, correct.
After while doing an exercises or practicing whatever we learned on tenant access, it was whatever we learned in the class, we would have created the same, correct? So what kind of project we have to mention in the resume? Even that was I didn't connect to it actually.
What I said, that right after I'm going to talk about case study, and you all will answer the same, and you will say that, okay, we learned this, I don't know how I missed this part. I'll come to that point. Shubha, now it's your turn. I know what you have been through, but I really want your experience. You should share with others also, so that everyone should get to know about that. Okay, in reality also, this is the scenario. So Shubha, go ahead, and what you faced, or how many jobs you have applied, what was the like, whether that job application worked for you or not. I know, but I want others to also get to know about it. Go ahead, Shubha.
Yeah, okay. So unlike Rashmi and Vaishnavi, I am not from a HR background. Mine is educational background. I work for a franchise. I manage that franchise. So I don't have any experience with HR part. But putting that and along with the Workday training I had, I applied and I didn't receive any calls. Currently, I'm working in the same franchise and I would like to do a career change. That's why that was my main intention. But I've applied and applied as others said, I didn't receive any call. So I changed my resume a little bit. Instead of putting center manager, I did a support leader, administrative support leader. I did so many things, but still couldn't get a call. So that's why I contacted Abhi and I wanted to join this course.
Okay. So thank you for sharing your experience, what you have encountered when you applied to a position. So let's come back to Rashmi, because I heard that she was also trying for HR generalist role also, where she has an experience, but even that was not like, she didn't get even that HR generalist job didn't click for her. Vaishnavi, is this the same for you also? You also applied for HR generalist role?
Yes, I've done the same thing.
And even
No,
that
I
is
didn't
not
receive
working.
any call. No.
Okay. Now, one thing is very sure. Okay, let me now conclude the entire thing. So, in first scenario, when I talk about Workday jobs, so 3 of you doesn't have Workday experience. So, at least there is always a possibility that, okay, if job is asking for any experience, if I don't have the experience, then yes, I won't be able to crack that interview or getting shortlisted. First part is crystal clear, that I understand. So let's come back to the second point. In second point, you guys have experience, HR generalist. But in having experience also, something is lacking, and based on your experience also, the the experience which you carry, you're not able to get shortlist, right? So what is
Yes.
common here, that whether you have experience or you don't have experience, and you're not able to crack any interview. So the common thing is there has to be some improvement, because resume is the one thing which should look lucrative. If I am a recruiter and I am shortlisting the candidate for Workday profile, obviously I'm going to go over your profile first. So whether you have experience or you don't have experience, your profile should be like giving a lucrative or maybe a productive information for a recruiter. So in our case, we have to talk about the resume now, because in resume there might be something. I think they are looking out for something, and my experience is something. So obviously, if Apple is Apple not getting compared, then my resume is not going to shortlist, because these days resume is not being viewed manually by a recruiter. Everything is system driven. So when I say system driven, so let's say I need Workday consultant for compensation. Okay, so I need Workday compensation consultant. Now, as I said, there are tons of resume received by an recruiter. So obviously there is one application and I have 200 resume, for an example. Do you think that the recruiter has that much time to review all the 200 applications in real time
No.
scenario? But since you are also coming from HR background, I am 100% sure recruiter doesn't review all the resumes. So these days, system is one. They define some formula, or there is some logic given to the resume selecting process. Okay, that is called as resume parsing, or resume parsing is something else. But yes, now it's like system picks that. So there are some parameter which system looks into your information, gets the data. So your resume should have that keyword. So keyword is one parameter where resume looks for your information. So when I talk about Workday, okay, but I said training. So Workday training is not sufficient information. Based on that, none of the organization is going to shortlist your CV, even though you are a fresher. Then too, because you have received training, so that is going to give you the more advantage. You know the concept. Now when you, as I know, you don't have anything to play in terms of Workday, but since you have already taken an interview, so you can put that interview or maybe that training in such a way that, okay, so in training you went through compensation, staffing, business process, security, and staffing or transactions. So you can put all these things onto your resume. But over and above, you can also add a case study. So what does a case study mean? Now let me put a case study in front of you, and then you guys come up with the solution. Okay. So when I say case study means, okay, now let me give you a case study. So I am a customer, okay, and I wanted to implement Workday. Okay, I wanted to implement Workday. So you guys are Workday champions, and I'm giving you guys my scenario, that my current structure, my employee strength, what all module I am looking out for. And based on that, you guys have to come up with a solution. When I solution means, you don't have to like create everything in Workday and they said, okay, I've created everything. No. When I say you guys have to come up with a solution means, first tell me about the planning, what approach you are going to follow. And then when I say, okay, this looks good, I will give you a green signal. Then you will go ahead and do the configuration. So here I am not talking about configuration. I am giving you guys a scenario. Then you guys have to come up with a solution. Okay. So I will give you guys an assignment. Okay, and you guys have to come up with a solution and then see what you guys have to say. And then I'll talk about some, again, a feature that how are we going to run this session. We will define some specific time and then we'll move on. So first, let me give you the case study. So I am a customer. My company name is ABC. Okay. I am using PeopleSoft, but now I wanted to move from PeopleSoft to Workday. Okay. I have 1,000 employees and I need HCM, I need benefits, I need performance. So in my first phase of implementation, I need 3 modules: HCM, performance, and benefits. Once this is being implemented and my end users are getting well versed about this, then in phase 2, I will implement recruiting. I will also implement payroll and finance. Okay. Now, while I am implementing Workday, I have acquired one more organization of 1,000 employees. Okay. When I say acquire means I have bought one more company, and now I also want that employees' information should go to Workday. Okay. Now, guys, this is what I have given. Now, since you guys are Workday champion, you guys have to come up with a plan. And guys, no one is here to judge your knowledge. First thing, let me be very clear. I am considering each one of you a fresher in Workday. So don't be hesitate and say that, okay, I don't know what others will think. No, we all are, again, matured enough to understand and we should respect each other. So there is no way that you should say that, no, I don't want to answer us. But did you guys understood my requirement?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we come back to our next session, we will talk on that session timings as well. So we'll first discuss about this case study. Whatever knowledge you have, based on the same knowledge, you guys have to come up with a plan. Say that, okay, I will go this approach. Somebody will go other approach. And then finally, I will give you the approach which is best suited for an organization. Guys, see, though I am from HR, but having only HR experience is not going to help me because I am not working as end user. I'm not going to approve somebody's compensation. I'm not going to give somebody a compensation. Here, I am talking about configuration. When I say configuration, guys, I need to have some, at least 10% of software development knowledge, right? Let's say will you say that, okay, company ABC, don't worry, tomorrow I'll start working on it and I'll give you the product ready. In reality, it doesn't work this way. You have to come up with a plan. Give me the plan. Okay, now guys, here when I talk about, I am talking about configuration as well as data loading. So when you hand over the tenant to a customer, so you should be saying that, boss, all your 2,000 employees are there in the tenant, and from now you are live. When I say live means you can use your application for daily activity. Okay, so I have given you a case study, a small case study, guys, but this is how you can, like, you will encounter similar scenarios when you go for an interview, because you guys are fresher, means not in terms of knowledge, but in terms of Workday. Then when I say in terms of Workday, so since you don't have experience, obviously people will not ask, tell me what you did, what challenge you faced in your prior customer. No, so this kind of question is very common when you go as a fresher in Workday. Now, so you have to give me or come up with a solution. So this is how your LMS will look like. And discussion board, this is the section. I think you guys are like, you receive training from Tech, so this is the section which talks about discussion board. So when you go to discussion board, all your concerns here, and every one of us can see the post and can reply if there is something which I have to answer, or maybe we are checking with some other candidates also. So we will use this discussion board for our communication. Okay.
All right, sure.
Okay. So let me conclude the session for the day. Okay. I will check with the support team and I'll make sure that 3 of you should receive the link for this LMS, and then we will put a session here which you can look out for sessions here. Okay. So meeting session and topic name, where you can go and get to know about the sessions or content completed, and you can also have a common link to join the session. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, guys. Then stay safe and healthy. See you guys on Thursday, 1:30 to 2:30. Yeah.
No, I wanted
go
to
ahead.
know about I wanted to know about the case study, case study which you gave. Can you just repeat that once again? I mean, you wanted us to come with the plan the next coming class, right?
Yeah, I want that. You see, I want that means it is not a school where you have to come on, but
no, I get it. Actually, when you said the case study, I was actually, I did not exactly note it down. I was just trying to understand again, so that I mean, in the upcoming class, when you are asking, at least we should say something, and then only we can know, right, whether we are saying correct or not.
And if I'm giving this, when you come up with a solution also, I'll get to know about that, where you guys are missing, where you should be focusing on, and what I can give it to that. And that is the reason. This is just to, and since all of you are now HCM consultants, at least you know how to use HCM, how to use Workday. So based on this, I'm giving you, because you guys are fresher and this is very common question. So let me again go ahead with my requirements. So I am a company ABC. Okay. Currently I am using PeopleSoft, and you guys are Workday champion, and I am coming to you and saying that first I need to implement Workday. So you let me know what all things you needed from our end. Okay. So you guys have to ask customer that, okay, these all information is required. If you give me this information, then we can go ahead and do that. I have 1,000 employee for ABC. Now, same time, ABC company has acquired one more organization of 1,000 employee, and even those employees should also be part of your Workday application. So now you have one company for 1,000 employee. Company has also acquired 1,000 employees. So the count of employees 2,000, and then I am implementing HCM, benefit, and performance. What was that? HCM, benefit, and performance. Currently, I'm implementing this, and in phase 2, maybe phase 2 means 2022, I will implement finance and recruiting. Okay. So you guys have to come up and say that, boss, if you are asking me to implement, I need this information. Okay. I might take this date. Guys, date is not a constraint here, but you guys have to tell me that, okay, I need this information. And when I say you need this information, how you're going to get started, how you're going to work for me. I wanted to understand the workflow or a working session where you tell me, I will do this first, then second step is this, then third is this, and finally I'll share the tenant. Clear?
Okay.
Yes, Manthan.
Yes, the company they're acquiring it is also PeopleSoft to work. PeopleSoft, is that correct?
No. They are using Excel.
Okay.
They are using Excel. So now they wanted to be, because since I am implementing Workday, so obviously if they will be part of my organization, I wanted to get them into the system as well.
Okay.
Okay. Since I am the customer, guys, you can ask me any question. Or let's suppose you are planning, you're creating some plan, and when I say that, now you go ahead. So before go ahead, I'll say, you want more information, you can ask me, and then after asking the questions also, you can tweak your plan also. Even that is achievable. Or you can ask me that. But once you say that, no, I am now giving you my plan, then you should not ask me question. You can ask me question before you go ahead and discuss about the plan. Before that, you can ask me any question. Correct?
Correct, yeah.
Guys, this is not an assignment. First, let me tell you, no one is going to judge your knowledge based on this. This is just for myself to understand, okay, now, if you go this way, then I will, because guys, you all are here to make sure that you get an opportunity. To get an opportunity, if things are wherever you are like lacking, it's my role, it's my duty to give you, push on to that, okay, if you do this way, you will be successful. Fine then, guys, stay safe and healthy.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.